Game started.
All right, Jaffello. I'm going to try the Reti opening, knight f3.
Server announcement.
Jaffello from Colombia. Okay, f6. I have no idea what that's about, but maybe he's trying to play e5, so I will put this here. And I'll go on with the fianchetto. Very unusual opening setup for black. Pawns on h6 and f6. But, you know, I haven't opened any diagonals over here where I can deliver these devastating checks. So maybe it's okay. My idea was to play c4, but now I can just take it and maybe even hold on to it. So why don't I go with b3 and then c4, so I can take back with the pawn. And he can come in here with his knight. So knight b4 to c2 is a threat. I have knight a3 to defend that square. And then maybe bishop d2 to chase the knight away. Now let's castle first, so that if the knight does land on c2, at least I will have some, I won't be with check. Okay, he took. That was to be expected. So now I have the move queen to b3, hitting the knight. Of course, the knight, well, the knight's no longer defended. It was defended by the bishop, but he just played knight to e7, blocking the bishop. So, queen here, or should I go after this bishop first? I can play knight to... because if I play queen b3, he can just play knight to c6, defending the knight, and it helps his development anyway. So I could play knight to h4, hitting his bishop, and he probably wants to move it. And then I could play e4, blocking this diagonal and getting rid of this threat of knight to c2. That's what I would like to do. Get rid of that threat altogether. And now I could even play knight to c2 myself, because this isn't a particularly great spot for the knight, but the knight could go to b5. No, I think I would prefer this knight c2. I just want to get rid of that hanging knight there, which is causing me problems. Oh, I didn't think this through. I lost the d-pawn. Lost the d-pawn. Okay, do I have some clever compensation here? Maybe queen b2, hitting the knight, and then bishop to e3, putting more pressure on the knight. Before I play that, really, I should play rook to d1, pinning the knight, but then he just plays e5, defending, or c5. Still, let's play that. I just want to see which pawn he moves, or if he tries to defend with the bishop, I can put on more pressure. He can move the knight with check, so I do have to be careful. Knight here, check, queen takes, knight here, check, bishop takes, and the bishop is defended and the rook is defended, so I guess actually knight here, check, knight takes probably. So he defends with the pawn. Just have to make sure everything stays defended. So I could play knight to f5 here. Probably bishop takes, pawn takes. And then that opens up this diagonal for my bishop, so gives me a doubled pawn, but gets rid of his light squared bishop and gives more scope to my bishop. So maybe it's a good trade. Otherwise, I am threatening to just take here and win a pawn, I think. Knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes, or rook takes something. He eventually has to take with a pawn, and then I can take, right? Knight takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes, hitting his queen. And this is still defended. Yeah, I'll just get my pawn back this way. And after he takes with the pawn, I still have the idea of pushing my pawn to e5 with tempo and hitting his rook. He has kind of a weak structure around his king due to these pawn moves. So if I can find a way to invade on the light squares, that would be good. So let's see where the queen goes and what do we have next here. Maybe I should first double rooks. But if I want to play this move, e5, I should probably play it now. So e5, queen takes, pinning my rook. Bishop takes rook, rook takes bishop. I guess it's not that hard to break the pin, right? So pawn here, rook moves. I take the rook, and then I take this pawn. And that opens up this file onto my f pawn. Maybe it is better just to... Oh, but he's going to get pressure on... let's do this. I can always double rooks afterwards. I was just thinking, if I double rooks, I can play rook to d7, which might be good. Yeah, so he went there. I could throw in this check. Is that useful? King goes to the corner. Actually, it just gives him a little more scope. I could take the pawn immediately. He can take back with the queen or the rook. Yeah, I should probably take the rook first. And now think about whether I want to play bishop d5 check. Is that useful? Okay, queen takes. Yeah, I hadn't realized this because I traded rooks first, and he took with the rook here. I now can take queens off and give him doubled pawns over here by the king. That's probably something I should do. Just create weaknesses around his king.
Check.
Check here. And then bring the rook in. Try and take advantage of some of these weaknesses. So the pawns are even. It's 3 and 2 versus 3 and 2, and even the structure is pretty similar. So I guess the only difference is his king is by the scattered pawns, and my scattered pawns are over here left to their own devices. So they may become weak actually in the end game. I have to be a little bit careful. Maybe I should think about playing a4, a5, and just dissolving this weakness here. Depending on what he allows here. If he allows me to check and start taking pawns on the 7th rank, I should probably do that. Or here, just getting the rook to an active position is usually a good idea. So how is he going to defend this? Probably with rook to c8, so it's a very passive position for his rook. And then I can go after the f-pawn. Rook f7, though, he can play f5. Okay, so he just pushes past, which gives me this pawn. But I can see why he didn't want his rook tied down to defending the c-pawn. And now he can start making mate threats right here by playing bishop h3 would be annoying. So let's move my king up one step. To guard the h3 square. And now I could think about playing rook to f7, hitting this pawn. He can't defend it with the king. He'd have to defend it with the rook. Yeah, rook there is not a bad place, though. But it does leave his back rank weak again. Undefended back rank. The interesting thing is the bishop is covering the a8 square, so maybe rook b7 and then just pushing the a-pawn is the best way to go. You can stop that plan by playing bishop to c8, but if he plays bishop c8 I can pin the bishop, which might be unpleasant. Then the rook won't be able to leave this rank. Okay, he went there. So that does stop me from playing rook f7. So let's go with rook
Server
b7
announcement.
here. And he goes there to defend. Okay, so he was expecting that. Do I have anything great here? Maybe I just okay, let's move this forward and see what his next move is. His king has no moves. The rook and the bishop have cut off all the moves of his king, so I have to be careful I don't create a stalemate, but this also gives me some possibilities of winning through just taking away all his moves. His rook has no moves. This takes away his pawn moves. So the only piece he can move is his bishop and these pawns.
Server announcement.
So maybe if I take away those moves too, then he will run out of things to do. So I just advance these pawns on the king side, try and take away his bishop moves. He could attack this pawn with his bishop, which would be annoying. But I guess I would round it up. Say if I played a5 and he takes, and I go here, he can't actually defend it. Rook a7 would get the pawn back. Okay, so let's push ahead with these pawns. So let's go forward with the king. Yeah, now he goes after this pawn, so I'm forced to move it forward. Yeah, actually, I miscalculated. He can actually defend the pawn by pushing it forward. Can't he? Okay. I'm going to try and penetrate with my king here. If I play g5, okay, and he's going to try and come around with his rook. Let's see. Yeah, I need to break through here somehow.
Check.
The way it is now, I had no way of getting in with the king because his bishop was covering this square.
Check.
Maybe I could have tried going to e5, maybe. Okay, but now I've got a passed pawn over here.
Check.
Ah, and he's got a bishop, yeah. So I have to go back this way. I want to stay in touch with this pawn because I don't want to lose it.
Check.
So in the check, I go back here. Okay, so now I can start moving this pawn forward like I wanted to.
Check. Check.
Ah, he still has this check. I keep forgetting about it. So I should be careful here. I can come to d5. Okay, let's bring the pawn forward. Right, so he's one step away from queening, but I don't think he's going to get there. Actually, here's a chance, isn't there? Check here. He can go to check, and if he goes to h7, I check with the bishop. If he goes to and he goes back, and then I have a discovered check with the bishop. Is that any good? Bishop here, check, king there is the only move. Bishop there, king forward or king back. I guess it's no good. Okay, I need to hold on to this pawn because it's under attack by his bishop.
Check.
Yeah, it's tricky. Okay, I should go here first, defending the pawn. And now I can move the king without fear of losing the bishop. I mean, move the king
Check.
without fear of losing the pawn. Okay, it took a while to figure it out, but I think I've got it now. Right, he's going somewhere, so I just have to make sure my king stays off of the light squares. because if he can move the bishop with tempo, then I don't have a chance to take the pawn, and he can promote it. But as long as the bishop is not moving with tempo, he moves the bishop, I grab the pawn. Oh, he could go here. Ah, it's complicated. Yeah, he might have had an opportunity there. So now I have check and then promotion, which should be good. Except actually I need to guard it with the king. So I need to play king because I can't actually take back. I need to stay on the h-file. Okay, move the bishop. So now I have to grab the pawn. So I think that was a mistake. Now I can go back. Oh, he was preventing me from delivering that check. That's what he did. But I can give a check on a dark square, like move the rook here and go here with check. Okay, oh, he's got that guarded. Okay, so to the dark squares, so I can come here and support a promotion. Let's see, I need a combination of rook to b8 and king to e7, and then I can promote the pawn. And I don't see a way for him to stop it. It's possible, but I don't see it right now. So I think he's going to let his clock run out. No, he goes after the pawn. That's not bad. That's a way to do it. So I can pin the bishop, and I probably should, because otherwise he can just take there. He can probably take anyway. Rook takes. He pins my bishop. Okay, what I'm thinking is, this is pinned. He takes here a check, I take back, so I can move my king here. So this pawn can't be taken by the king because it's protected. Can't be taken by the bishop, as the bishop is pinned. If he takes with the rook, I take back with the bishop, and once again, neither the king nor the
Black
bishop
forfeits on
can
time.
take. Okay, so I think I was finally winning here. But I will do a postmortem and find out for sure. See you guys later. Bye.